This is the Zeblaze Neo 3. They call it a smartwatch, but it's really more like an activity tracker. First, let's have a look at what we get in the box. The box looks very nice and professional, and in the bottom right corner they call this a smart fitness watch, which is more correct. On the side is nothing interesting, and on the back is just the address of the producer and a list of what's included. Inside everything is nicely protected with foam padding, and in this plastic bag we have the charging cable. It's a standard USB to this strange type of clip, not really my favorite type as it feels a bit strange to use. The 22mm bands that come in the box look quite nice with stitches on the sides. And on the back is a silicone layer to make sure they don't move much while wearing them. There's also a quick release on the pins, so it's easy to take them off and on the watch. Next is the case. The size of this one is 47.2mm and it's 14.3mm thick. The screen does not go all the way to the edge, so there is a black border around it. On the side are 3 stainless steel buttons, and the crown does rotate, although it doesn't have any rotating functions, as it's just a button. Next we have the user manual, and it comes in a few different languages, and here we also find a QR code for the app, but more about that a bit later. First we need to attach the bands, and it's an easy task with the quick release pins. There's also some protective plastic on the screen, so let's remove it before we move on. The watch looks quite nice in black and I like the design. It's not too thick and it weighs only 44 grams. Since this is a plastic case, it doesn't feel very premium, but then again it only costs 29 bucks. On the back we have the charging connector and the heart rate sensor in the middle. The right side are the 3 buttons and they are nice and clicky, so we do get a good feedback when pushing them. There's also a plastic film on the sensor here, so remember to remove it before using the watch. The bands have a nice leather look and the silicone on the back does a good job holding the watch in place, so it doesn't slide too much on the wrist. There's also 2 retainers for holding the band in place. Regarding IP rating, this watch is rated IP67 water and dust proof, so it can take some water, but it's not really made for swimming. The charger is attached to the watch like this, and I must say it does feel quite strange, and it's definitely not my favorite type of charger. But it works, so I guess it's okay for the price. Let's try turning the watch on. There we go, of course in Chinese language, since we haven't set it up yet. It will change to English after connecting it to the phone, so let's do that now. In the manual we have a QR code for finding the app, and it sends us to a website. Here we have apps for iOS and Google Play, but be aware. Clicking the button marked Google Play will not send you to Google Play. It will instead try to download a package file from an external website, which is a security risk and not recommended. So I will cancel this and go search for the app myself. In Google Play, just search for Happy Sports and download the app from there. It doesn't exactly have a lot of positive reviews, but we will try it for ourselves and find out how it is in a while. To pair the watch, just click Device and it should pop up. Select it and maybe you'll have to click the button on the watch, and it's done. Now the time, date and language is correct on the watch, so we can start using it. I have now used the watch for 7 days, so let's have a look at what it has to offer. The watch face shows us the basic information, and it can be changed in the app, but more about the app later. Next is notifications, and here's a sample of what a text message looks like. The text is big and very easy to read, but it doesn't show the whole message, and it's not possible to scroll down to see all of it. We can also delete all the notifications when we're done with them. Next is steps, and on the side here we can see a graph of how far we are from reaching our daily goal. There's no list of previous data, so this is all we get. Next is distance with the same type of view. Here's calories, and again the same type of view. Heart rate looks the same, but here we can click the button to start measuring, so we can start it manually if we want to. This is a sports tracker, and here we can see the last activity with its results in heart rate, calories, steps, distance, and the time spent at the bottom. Clicking the button will start a new activity, but sadly we cannot choose which type of activity we want to do. For example, walking, jogging, etc. Next is sleep monitoring, and here we can see deep sleep, light sleep, and total sleep. I didn't sleep 4 hours last night, but it sometimes gets confused if you wake up at night to go to drink or something. Most times it works fine, but sometimes I get this result where it stops monitoring the sleep. Next is find phone, which will play a sound from the phone so you can find it. Of course, the watch must be nearby and connected by Bluetooth for this to work. Logically, if the phone isn't connected, this is not going to do anything. The watch can also be used to control music that's playing on the phone. We can play, pause, skip forward and backwards. But sadly, it will not show us the name of the song that's playing. Photograph is the remote control for the camera, so this can be used if you place the phone away from yourself and want to take pictures, or if you don't want to touch the camera to make sure it's not moving while the picture is taken. The watch will also show the weather for today and tomorrow, including air quality. Next is a simple stopwatch that doesn't support laps, but we can pause the time and of course reset it. It's simple, but it works. In settings we have the About section, and here we have some information about MAC address and the app version. The screen is bright enough, but if you want to adjust it, it can be done in here, and we have 6 levels to choose from. Restore factory is to completely reset the watch, which we are not going to do now. And at last we have shutdown, which obviously will switch the power off. The screen on this watch is made of plastic, as you can hear if I tap on it with my finger. It does sound quite cheap, and as we know, plastic is easier to scratch than glass, so be careful if you buy one. This is a 1.3-inch IPS display with 240 by 240 pixels, so it looks good. Now that we have gone through everything on the watch, let's have a look at the app. This is a fairly simple app, so it's easy to navigate and find what we want in here. On top are the steps so far today, distance and calories. This is the settings for the watch, and above it is the remaining battery after using it for 7 days. It's still got 64% left, so it will probably last about 1 more week. The battery is said to last between 10 and 20 days depending on how it's used. Here we can set the alarms. This watch does not have speakers, so we have vibration alarms only. It's not the most powerful motor I've tried, but it did wake me up in the morning. I'm not sure if it will wake me up every day, but so far it's worked fine. When the alarm goes off, the screen lights up and the only option is to turn it off. Next is the heart rate and sleep results, but first let's have a closer look at the activities. In steps is a graph of our steps throughout the day, but one strange thing is that there's no indicator on the side here showing how many steps are shown in the graph. Under the graph we have a separation based on time, but there's no separation lines up here to show how many steps. Anyway, down here we have a list of previous days, and tapping one will show its details, and the total on top. In heart rate we have a graph with indicators on both the X and Y axis, and below it is every measurement that was made this day. The calendar icon in the corner lets us select other days. And that's it for heart rate, other than a button at the bottom of the screen to manually start measuring. The sleep monitoring mostly works well, except for a couple times when I woke up at night to get something to drink. Here we have deep sleep, light sleep and awake time, some text explanations below it and a list of previous days. We can also hold on the timeline to see more details. Opening the watch settings, we can for example change the watch face. There are only 3 to choose from, so not much to get excited about here. Display settings allows us to rearrange the menu items on the watch, and since this watch doesn't have a touchscreen, this is actually very useful. Putting the items that you use the most closest to the main screen will greatly reduce how much you have to click the buttons. If you don't want the screen to automatically turn on when you raise the wrist, it can be switched on or off here. There's also sedentary and drinking water alarms, and we can turn on or off all-day heart rate testing. We can also choose which apps we want notifications from on the watch. There's calls, messages, Facebook, Viber, and so on. If you're a Strava user, this app can sync its data with it. I haven't tried this, but it's here. Tapping this running man icon on the side gets us to the sports activities. In here are any recorded activities, and I will be listed below with the activity details in the blue field. There's also a sports mode with GPS in the app, but this will use the app only and not the watch, so it doesn't really have anything to do with the watch itself. So overall a nice looking watch, but the plastic case and plastic screen doesn't exactly give it a quality feel, and the black edge around the screen isn't very attractive in my opinion. But the watch feels well built, the screen is big and very easy to read, the buttons are clicky and has a good feedback when pushing them. It's also easy to use and it's got good battery life. So it's a good budget option for an activity tracker that looks more like a normal watch. And that's it for my review. If you liked the video, click that like button, and if you didn't already subscribe, just click the button below the video and the bell for more. Have a nice day, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.